Hey, I'm here in my workspace taking a quick break to share with you the things that I have in this video to talk about. Just sort of a list. This is the agenda. I have my Bressa dress. I have some footage of Alice in the garden eating raspberries. I show you a bit of my natural dyeing process on some wool from the Orkney Islands. And then right after that, trigger warning if you don't like bugs, but I'm going to show you some caterpillars on my milkweed plants. They're adorable. And then I have a sewing project to share with you. It's the Sagebrush top from Friday Pattern Company. And then so many things that I've finished lately. The Vertices Unite by Mr. Stephen West. And sorry, I just got a text that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's such a fun project, and I want to make another one. Then I'm going to share some weaving that I recently completed out of Volmisa lace. And I show a little bit about how I was doing the fringe twisting on that. And then, if you can believe it, I'm showing you some underpants that I'm making. Some underpants. Then 3 hats that I have recently completed. Well, I'm showing you in this video one that I'm still working on, but now that one's finished as well. And those are presents for my son, who is turning 13 tomorrow. And then I have just a little glimpse of a sweater project. That is not the only sweater project that I'm working on, but I'm going to save the other sweater project for the next video. But this particular one, and I'm looking at it right now, it's out of Corriedale Handspun from Serenity Farms in Michigan, and it's good stuff. But I'm flubbing it up quite a lot, this sweater. But I'm gonna rescue it, fingers crossed. Think about me when I am dropping down, I don't know, 50 rows to fix multiple mistakes. And that's my work. Ding dong. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you again soon. Take care.
So I have forgotten to mention that I have a giveaway for you all. And look, we're back in the usual podcasting spot. So I was recently given an entire basket of some Jacob and Merino bats, which I would like to pass along to you all. They are lovely. I just have so much wool to spin. I was given this in this basket, which I'm obviously not going to ship because that would be cumbersome. And also, I adore this basket. And honestly, now that I'm touching this wool, I'm kind of rethinking my offer to give this away. But you know what? I would like somebody else to who really would enjoy this, to have it. So let's see, just as kind of a thank you to sticking with me for however long you've been watching Fibertown. It is really a privilege to have folks that watch this rambly kind of vlog to connect with and ask questions and just get to know. So if you would like this Jacob and Merino, and like I said, I'm pretty sure there's a sweater quantity in here of spinning wool, depending on how you spin it and ply it, obviously. But if this looks like something you would like to, I'm going to take it out as I talk so you can see, put it on my kitchen table. If this is something that floats your boat, then leave a comment. Leave a comment. Oops, this one got a little bit. There we go. Leave a comment and tell me something you would like to see more of, or something you enjoy seeing on the vlog here. Could be anything at all. And if you can't think of anything, you know, tell me a joke. I could use a good joke. I could always use a good joke. Look at this pile so far. I should probably weigh this. But this wool looks in very good shape. It looks to be well carded. I bet each one is about 2 ounces. Man, it never stops. Look, it just goes down and down and down. So this will not be heavy at all to ship, but my goodness, there's a lot of it. I'm going to count it with you guys. All right, down at the bottom, there are 2.
Okay, excuse the hair. These have been in for about 48 hours. I love it. But after I sleep on them for a night or two, they do get fuzzy. Oh my gosh. And also, sorry about the teenager yelling at his friends through the video camera. You'll probably hear that a bit today. I want to show you my Bressa. Look at this. She is done. Maybe I'll put her on. It's going to be hot, but I wanted to talk about the details of this sweater. It's the Bressa by Marie Wallin, and I washed it, but the ends are not woven in yet. Okay. So I knit this top down instead of bottom up, and the yarn is mostly Jamieson's of Shetland, with a couple of substitutions because most of the yoke colors, I should say, are Jamieson's of Shetland. And stand back so you can see this a bit better. They were leftovers from my Yale cardigan, and so I did run out of a few colors. I know I ran out of the yellow and one of the taupey browns, but I was able to substitute some Hebridean yarns, which were very similar colors, and I think it's just fine. It's another one of Marie Wallin's kind of long yokes, which come down over the bust like the lovage. It's just lovely. So yes, I reverse engineered the charts and doing increases instead of decreases, as you would have moved up the charts. And sort of like looking ahead in the pattern to see what the stitch count was going to be instead of the stitch count you started with. Sorry. This is just my reality now, and I'm trying to roll with it a bit better. So for the cuffs, I did a turned hem. So I knit. I did a purl round for the turning, and then I decreased a bit so that the interior part of the hem, would fit inside there snugly. And then I just whip stitched it down. I kept the stitches live and just joined them to purl bumps on the interior. Same thing here, same thing with the bottom hem. It's not perfectly even. Look, again, I gotta point out the flaws, but it's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. You can see that purl turning row right there. But from the front, it's just a nice edge. It's a nice alternative to tubular cast off, which is just way too much grafting for me on a sweater. Maybe there are other ways to do it that I don't know about. Hit me up if there are better ways to do a tubular cast off. So the purple yarn is Bartlett Yarns. It came on a cone. It is from Maine. It's, I think, maybe the only spinning jenny in the United States that is left. It's got a really cool history. Bartlett Yarns, there was a short little article about them in the latest Taproot magazine edition, and it's a beautiful piece of machinery. You can look on YouTube as well, Spinning Jenny, and there's just these two machines on tracks, and they kind of dance back and forth as they're spinning and plying, and yeah, drafting and all that good stuff. So this is the Bressa, and I should also say I did no shaping in the bottom here. I just went, I think I did this on a US 6, and then about here I went up to a US 7 just to sort of have a naturally sort of A-line shape, and I didn't add any stitches but just increased the needle size. This is a little wonky. Let's see if this one is like that as well. There's just a little inconsistency in gauge as you go from this knitting to this knitting. But I mean, when you look at the thing as a whole, it's not that noticeable. So I'm pretty pleased. It needs a photo on my Ravelry. I know I mentioned in my last episode that I got extreme screen fatigue, and this is coming off because it's hot. And the second I looked at the new Ravelry, boom, that impacted me drastically. I didn't look at the site again until I saw that you could revert back to the old Ravelry, which I did as soon as I was able. And so I believe the people that say that Ravelry is harmful to them. And it was very disappointing to see how it was approached by Ravelry itself. How those people who were sharing their needs were dismissed and or other stuff. Anyway, I'm very glad that I am not permanently impacted by that. Like I mentioned, the screen fatigue was real and the migraines were real. And I made all of my patterns free on Ravelry because I don't have the bandwidth right now to put them elsewhere. And I just didn't feel good about Ravelry getting potentially any income from those pattern sales. Not that I sell a lot of patterns, but I sell some patterns, and until it's fixed so that everybody can use it, my patterns will be free. So if you're able, take a look. If you're not able, just, you could send me an email or, an Instagram message maybe with your Ravelry name. Let me know if there's something you want. I'll send it to you. Email it. Yeah. Alice is here. She wants to say hi. Okay. Don't run away. Hello. Yeah, so that is the Bressa. Just wanted to share with you guys. Little kisses. See you soon.
See that one right there? That one right there, silly. Look. Look, it's this one. This one. This one, dum-dum. There you go. Can't you get it? Look. Try again. Oh, what about this one? Yeah, you can get it. Try again. Try again. Oh, baby. You got it. I want to go out in the grass and eat it. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go. Where are you, baby? Oh, it's okay, Mama. Good girl. Delicious. Wait, I was gonna have the other one. Man. All right, there's some right there. I think you got them all. Don't eat. That one's not ripe, silly. Leave it alone. Did you leave it? Ah, you took a bite. Damn it. I dyed my beautiful Orkney Firstness, can't remember how to pronounce it, yarn with marigolds, mordinted with alum. Marigolds from my garden from this year and last. It's just a really stunning yellow, but I'm going for a green. So this is yarn masterminded by Sarah Hunt of Fiber Trek, my dear friend. So what am I gonna do? By some miracle, this stuff arrived today. Yes. So I decided this was the way to go. I have tried indigo baths in the past and I'm not there yet in my expertise. So this is just botanical extract. So I'm gonna make a dye bath with that, and then I'm gonna put my yellow yarn in it, and boom, it's gonna turn green. It's gonna be awesome. I will show you. Some beautiful blue starting. Okay, fingers crossed I don't botch this beautiful yarn. Goodbye, yellow. Let's see some green. It's not capturing the color except if I hold up the camera really high. All right, let's put some heat on this. Can't find instructions anywhere that say to heat it, but I'm gonna heat it. All right, oh, that's going to be very pretty. I think it's gonna oxidize a little bit like regular indigo. I might have to add some more indigo too, we'll see. Okay. Okay, let's see. Time to turn on the heat. This is the yarn I dyed with the marigold and then Saxon blue indigo. And I don't think it's really coming out correctly on the screen. Let me see if I can stand up and it looks, no, it's still way too pea green. This is much more of a apple in real life.
maybe like that. Nope, still not right. Well, this, if I had shown you a before picture, would have been glossy, beautiful white yarn from First Nests. This is Fibretrek's latest wool venture. This is from the Isle of Edie in Orkney. It's the 2018 clip. That is her website. I'm pretty sure she has more of the white undyed. She might have others, but check it out, because holy smokes, this is an amazing, amazing yarn. Right, so again, this was marigold and then overdyed with Saxon blue indigo, and that's kind of more, I cannot capture this. Maybe I'll try a photo and I'll color correct it. But this is stunning. This is at least 1,500 yards of a 2-ply fingering, glossy, toothy, all of the good things all at the same time. It is a stunning color, a stunning wool, and I'm going to knit it into some sort of cabled or textured or all of the above kind of sweater pattern. I'm very excited. I'm grateful for people who do this kind of wool work. No. What's he gonna do? Cannot figure it out. Here we go. Back. Is he gonna make it? Found his favorite plant. Go, little fella. This is my new Sagebrush top. Have you seen the poof on these sleeves? This is a pattern by Friday Pattern Company, and I don't know, it's a mixture of like Anne of Green Gables with the poof and Little House on the Prairie with the yoke, I suppose. So in the pattern, this yoke has a ruffle here, which I've simply omitted. It does have elastic here, which kind of bugs me. I'm tempted to take it out and just hem the sleeve because it rides up. It's cute, but, oh, sorry, that was terrible, terrible camera management. But I think it would just lay flatter without it and just drape better, more to my liking. I mean, the poof is good. The gathers are really focused at the top of the sleeve. But this was fun. This was fun to make. The fabric, let me see if I can get a close up. I'm gonna turn this around. So I'm walking over to a window to show you this fabric. It is an eyelet that's got sort of a shibori pattern. And I got this from Blackbird Fabric. The color is not really something I would typically choose as a first choice, but this was the only color they had. And I just love the design on it. So I bought it. It was not expensive, and it's 100% cotton, so it's got this great body up here. But gosh, this would be interesting to turn into a dress, wouldn't it? So many options. So that's my Sagebrush top.
Yo puedo nadar, pero ya tengo miedo a bajar aquí.
¿Ah?
Puedo nadar.
Hey fiber friends, I have a new Stephen West finished object. This is the Vertices Unite, and I knit the small version, but I used worsted weight yarn. So this is it all laid out. I loved knitting this so much. This was the first section, and I actually modified it to cut it short because that was the only part that I found boring, and I just could not anymore. So I didn't knit as many rows up till this point as I should have, but I was able to do some modifications on some of the adjoining pieces, and it was just fine. And then when I started knitting the other sections, oh my gosh, so exciting. Look at the short rows here. Can you see that? Short rows, so beautiful and graphic. So this is section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, which I call the chocolate caramel section, and section 6. So let me put this down and I'm going to show you what all the yarns are. All right, so section 1, this turmeric color was Snoqualmie Valley yarn. This is a BFL Glen Forest blend, and my pal Janice years ago brought this back to me from Washington State. I feel like this was from, yeah, Tolt Yarn & Co. So this particular one was dyed, let's see, was naturally dyed with Coreopsis. So that's this orangey yellow. Then this blue really doesn't show up to its full advantage, but this is a marl. It's from Distelfink, which is a Pennsylvania dyer / farm raised in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I love this little bird. I think that's Distelfink is a type of bird in German. So this is the Noel 2 3-ply worsted from 2018. It's a Romney Border Leicester Merino blend. And again, it's marled, and it's in section 6 as well. This is the colorway Washing Blue. I got this at Maryland Sheep and Wool last 2019. I was about to say last year. Well, that was last year. But let me show you this color on its own. It's just an amazing wool. Oh my word. I want more of this. Look, you can see the marl a bit better here. I love it. I love it so much. This is a really good representation of the color. It's just silky and lovely, and it's got just a touch of a halo. Oh, I love it. I love it so much, and I really want more. So that's section 6, and then section 1. Section 2 is this yarn again, but in a different colorway. It's this light one. It's dyed with red cabbage. So it's like a gray blue, but it reads as just a gray white with the black, which is not really a black. It is Hebridean yarn from the Isle of Skye, Croft 29. So these are all worsted weights. So this, oh my gosh, this is just a delightful yarn. In the hank, well, it's actually a skein. In the skein, it feels crunchy and rough, but oh, it's just delightful. Super delightful. So this I also used for the I-cord bind off all the way around. Oh my gosh, I loved knitting this so much. So that's section 2 and section 6 and section 1. Section 3. Oh, section 3 is, you know what? I love it just as much as the Distelfink. It's lighter than the Distelfink. And this is actually a, let me show you. This is dyed by Wandering Wool, but it's Corriedale wool from the Ross farm. I think I got this at SSK when I went, like in 2016. And oh my goodness, just amazing. I would also like a sweater in this, please. This is I think a 3-ply. Beautiful, just beautiful. I love how it goes with the brown Hebridean. And look at these kind of, the joins you get. They're stunning. Stephen West is a genius of geometry. So this, I should have shown you, this section 4, I believe, is this yarn dyed with red cabbage. It's the same one that adjoins the Hebridean. So that gets a little section of its own. And then the last section, I already showed you section 6, but this section is the Hebridean plus the Snoqualmie yarn in dyed in Coreopsis. So let me put my camera down and I will try this on and give you a little model.
Let's try on the Vertices Unite, which will be a gift for my husband for his birthday, which is the 1st of September. So he really loves wearing knitted scarves and shawls. Here she is. Looks like a flag of some sort. All right, so this is how I'm gonna recommend he do it. So this point will come down around the shoulder. I think this point will go under. Yeah, let's do that. Boop. Of course, you gotta do the sound effects with it. Swoop and boop. I don't know, maybe this one should go underneath. Yeah, let's do that one underneath. Because then you can see these gorgeous stripes. Then if you want, this one can sort of cuddle up under the point here. And you've got the delightful scarf wrapped around you, or I don't like it that way actually. I want both points coming down in the front. Move the braid. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. Could even tuck this in, right? That would be good. So I'm just figuring this all out, but it's good to wear. It's so fun to knit. And I love how it showcases these yarns. Graphic. So I should mention that the Vertices Unite is a knit along I did with my Woolly Thistle quarantine knitting group online. And they suggested that we all knit a Stephen West shawl, and frankly I wasn't too into it because I like knitting sweaters. I knit maybe one shawl a year, and perhaps this is the 2020 shawl and I don't do another one, but I wasn't super into it, but I wanted to do the group thing, right? Because it's bonding. And usually that doesn't work out well for me if I play along with a group thing that I don't really want to do. But in this case, it was a boost that just gave me the wonderful experience of knitting this. And it had been in my queue for ages, on my radar for ages, but I just never did it. And I'm thoroughly, thoroughly glad that I did. Are you in a Woolly Thistle knitting group? I really enjoy mine. We meet Monday nights on Zoom. So hello again. I thought I would show you how I am doing some fringe on this scarf I wove. So I had a skein of Volmisa lace in something Campari. I have it saved. It's just, the color really isn't coming out quite right, but it's reds and oranges, obviously. I didn't want to knit this into a garment or a shawl, and I just thought it would be stunning woven up. And it is so fluid and lightweight, and I haven't washed it yet, and I know it will transform when it goes in the water. But I wanted to show you how I've done one end of fringe. So I used my fringe twister, and I thought I'd take a quick video and show you how it goes. So I will turn this camera around and give you a peek. So I have a Leclerc fringe twister, and it's a 4-pronged alligator clip doodad. I suspect that if you were handy, you could make one of these, but I think I got mine at the Woolery. So I am just I'm dividing each tassel, as it were, each one of these, into 2 pieces. And I know that my tassel on the end has more strands than the regular bunch, but typically I put about 3 or 4 strands into one of these clips. And so you just kind of spin it. I don't think it matters which direction it goes. I'm doing clockwise. And I'm actually gonna set something heavy on the scarf so it doesn't move too much. But I'm gonna count, I think I'm gonna do 30-ish rotations of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and then I just take them off the clip one by one. So that was one tassel divided in half. So I'm going to take those two groups together, do an overhand knot. And I try to keep the knots more or less consistent length, and it kind of falls. Sorry, I'll show you that up. It kind of plies back on itself like a little cord. So then I'm going to grab these two and do the same. Do an overhand knot and try to keep it about the same point on that one. That's pretty good, and it'll pop back and then relax into the twist. And that one's not quite the same as the other one, but you know how it goes around here. We don't really care. So let me do a few more. I'm going to put this doodad on a timer for fast speed. So that's only 4 little tassels. So multiply that by 2, because each one is 2 alligator clips, and I've got a bunch more to do. So I just kind of leave this on my work table, and if I have 5 minutes between clients, 10 minutes, I come in, just do a couple tassels, and little by little, we get a whole side of tassels. So I can't wait to put this in the water and see how everything shapes up. Yeah, and I don't know why I'm trying it on now, because really it's gonna look much better once it's wet and dried. And of course, ends clipped. But I think it's quite stunning, fabric-wise. Yes. At some point I would like to talk about my Ashford loom. Sorry about that glare. Because I am quite displeased with it. I'm quite mad at that loom and its plastic parts. It was affordable-ish in terms of looms as far as they go, but I really wish I had paid for a more solid piece of equipment, because the weaving loses a lot of the joy when you're joining the warp to the cloth beam and the apron beam via plastic doodads that stop functioning. And anyway, yeah, I wouldn't recommend. I'm sure there is a workaround with something string, but those connections really have to be exactly the same in every spot, and that's going to be a lot trickier for me to achieve just trying something on my own. So like rigging something up. If you have a suggestion or a resource for doing that, I'm all ears. Let me know for leveling up the Ashford rigid heddle. And yeah, I'd love to know. I did have a shocked cricket, and that was a great loom, but I don't weave often enough to justify big bucks on a loom. So I would have bought a shocked had I had the big bucks. But they only pay me the medium bucks. So here we are. All right. Chat to you later.
Here she is. My beautiful weaving against my orange wall here with my Katie Green Bean poster. I did all the fringe, gorgeous twisties, and they remind me of Cheetos somehow. And the drape after washing is simply delightful. I do wish the warp were a bit longer and not as wide. I always wing it when it comes to calculating the weaving setup, and usually it works out okay, sometimes not so much. So just lovely. Would look really great with black, wearing all black and then just this. Anyway, there she is. So this is the pattern I am using to make some undies. And these are knit scraps that I have left over, or in this case, just a knit t-shirt that I didn't enjoy, and I cut it up and I'm getting 3 pairs of undies out of it. So the Megan Nielsen Acacia is a free pattern, fits me okay, and I have an ample badonkadonk, and I'm pretty happy with them. Even when I take walks, they are comfy, they don't ride up. It's super fun to put together. There's sort of a gusset that has a, oh, what's that called? Oh my gosh, you know when you do a shirt yoke. Oh no, I can't think of the word. Oh my gosh. A burrito. It's a burrito method gusset. Oh my God, yeah. Anyway, I'm using a lingerie elastic. There are 3 different methods to do the elastic, and I've tried the fold over elastic, and it's fine, but it's fiddly, and I am just slapping this on there with a unfinished edge, and since it's knit, it doesn't fray, it washes just fine. So I've made about 8 pairs, and the main part of the sewing goes together very quickly, and then just when I have a few minutes, I will just quarter the elastic and the undies and sew in using a zigzag stitch through sort of this part of the elastic to attach it. And really, I'm not being super precise at all because they're underpants. So you can see the burrito method gusset right there. That's the interior. And yeah, you know, it's not perfect with the black serger thread showing through. You could do it without a serger, but it's so simple to do it with. White thread would have been better, but it's okay. Again, they're underpants. So anyway, I have 3 pairs still to do with the leg elastic, and I just sort of railroaded those through the machine. Oh, and I've cut them all apart. Yeah, so I should really get on those and finish these last 3 pairs of the Acacia undies, which are a free pattern when you sign up for her newsletter.
Hey fiber friends, I'm popping in to show you some hats I've been knitting. These are a trio of hats I'm knitting for my son who's turning 13 on Thursday. It's the 1st of September today. So this is the first one. It's out of Jameson's of Shetland, and this is Harrisville, Shetland. So it's like a Where's Waldo hat, but in purple and white. And these were the colors he chose. Smells like Celebration Soak, like all good woolly knitted things. And it's sort of based on the sock head hat, but I believe I cast on about 30 stitches fewer than they recommend. So it's, I think, 110 stitches. Then a few increases here, and then some sort of gradual decreases over every 2 or 3 rounds rather, instead of every other round. US 2s for the rim, and US 3s for the rest of the hat. Did I do a tubular cast on here? I think I did. Yeah, it's all right. So there's that one. Hey, I'm in here recording. Okay, I'm back. This is the second hat. This is out of Fiber Nymph Dye Works. This is Superwash Merino, and it's one of her inversible sets. Starting to see a purple theme here. So this is, I can't remember the colorway. I think the tag is long gone, but I bought this in 2016 at SSK. And this is a bigger hat. This is something that he, in fact, started knitting himself. He picked the yarn, and look, you can see where he dropped a stitch, and I picked it up inexpertly, apparently. But this is like 130 stitches cast on. It's big, but I have to say lately he has very big hair because it hasn't been cut in a very long time. So this is the third hat. So this is out of Gail's Art, Graffiti on Asphalt. I bought this either at Rhinebeck or Maryland Sheep and Wool. Look at the pooling there. I really love this part. It's just so, like, every color. Except for maybe red. I don't think there's a red in here. Not a lot of greens, but a lot of sort of cool colors. And this is, I think, 120 stitches cast on. So I've been playing around with different brim, what's the word I'm looking for? Different brim, sorry, bending down. Circumferences, that's the word. So I'm getting ready to start the decreases on this one, so it should be finished pretty soon.
Good morning, fiber friends. It is 6 in the morning. I'm on my porch. I'm having my coffee, and I am knitting on this cardigan, which I don't believe I've shared with you all yet. And I have a lot of features to show you about this cardigan, and I will do that in the next episode. Now, I'm holding the camera still on the front. And yes, it is a cardigan because I've put in a wee steek. And maybe you are starting to see what I have just noticed. So I'm gonna let the camera stay here because if you haven't noticed the mistake that I just noticed yet, just keep watching. But while you are looking, I am going to I'm going to tell you about the yarn. This is a 3-ply hand spun of Hilda the Corriedale from Serenity Farm, from my friend Carrie, who is an amazing shepherdess in person, and I love this yarn so much. The pattern is, did I say the pattern? It's the Mondo Cable Cardigan by Bon Marie Burns. And it is made to be knit flat, but I've knit it in the round, which is just fine. And I'm making plenty of modifications, especially to the sleeves. I have one sleeve completed, and I will share that with you again next time. And it gets a very beautiful sort of turtlenecky collar. And I am sitting here on the porch having my coffee. It's super early. I'm contemplating how I'm going to do the hem, and I have some thoughts. I've been working it out as I go. And then I just kind of noticed that this is the steek. And I look at that. Look at the difference in gauge or something, and how, like, maybe it was the yarn that was very uneven up here. I need to block this and see what happens, but look how much more even it is here. But here's my real concern. Look at that. I think this is where I put the work down for a while and then picked it back up and turned these two knit stitches. Oh wait, maybe it was actually, oh, look at that. So it was a purl then a knit. So I just turned one knit stitch into a purl. And you know what? That's a hecking long way to drop down, but I'm gonna try it. That's just so me. That's just on brand for me, isn't it? But I want to take steam iron to this part. You know what? I know what happened up here. And I will talk about that mishap another time. I have so much to tell you about this sweater. But hopefully that will black out, as they say, because look how pretty it is down here. Now, when Hilda is washed, she is like velvet. I adore it. I adore her. Just so velvety. I mean, you might have knit with Corriedale from the store before. Like, I don't know, but by the store, what do I mean by that? I mean by, I don't know, a superwash Corriedale or a Corriedale blend for sock yarns. And it's lovely. But Hilda is a special Corriedale, and she is just pure velvet. Gorgeous stuff. So I'll check back in when I've had a chance to fix that stitch. I think it's just the one. Yeah, look, that's a purl. That's a purl. Okay, so it's just one. Oh gosh, is it gonna rain? Let me show you all my garden out there. It's been rainy for days. I have a orange cosmos jungle in my garden this year in a couple places. Okay, I'm gonna head out for a walk before it rains, and I'll check in with you later. All right, well, I've just fixed that. I've noticed some other mistakes, like right here where I changed from purl to knit. I actually think just knit looks better than this single 1x1 rib. Like down here, look at that. Did it here, did it there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now, I'm toying with the idea of just going back and making this all stockinette with a purl on either side. However, I use the helical knitting method and alternated skeins, and I know that that crossover did happen in this area several times, and that will cause issues, I think, for laddering back. So, yeah, just discovering more problems that are just down to me doing things like that right there. Just picking this up after a little knitting hiatus. Look at that. Those should both be purl rows right there and right there. Yeah, so I picked it up and messed up the stitch pattern. What to do, what to do.